Hey, Astro Kids, and welcome back. And in today's video, we'll talk about the D9 Navamsa chart. So this is one of the Varga or divisional charts. And in our previous video of the D60 chart, we talked about how this is a part of 16 different divisional charts. These are very important to understand different aspects of our lives. But the most important charts are always going to be the D1, D9, and D60 chart. In the previous video, I talked about how the D1 is like the womb. It is where everything begins. But the D9 chart is like the heart of the chart. So it's really getting into the fruits of our karmas. And the D60 has the final say. It is like the soul of the chart. So if you think of it in terms of fruit, the D1 is the fruit, and the D9 is when the fruit has ripened, when it's ready to be extracted. And the D60 is the final extraction of that juice. Now, the D9 Navamsa is 1/9 of the natal chart. So it is 9 parts, 3 degrees, 20 minutes each of the natal chart. And what the D9 ultimately represents is the fruits of our karmas. It is the good fortune that is coming back to us from past life experience. Therefore, the D9 is connected to the 9th house of the chart. The D9 also represents the maturity of our karmas. We can naturally see that when a planet is in a difficult position, but it is placed well in the D9, that it will improve with time and maturity. The D9 also represents marriage because the 7th house is 11 houses from the 9th house. So it is the gain of our fortune in life that is seen through marriage as well. Now, there's a lot of debate over when does the D9 Navamsa activate? When does it give us the results, the fortune coming into our lives? Some people say that this happens when we get married. Other people say it happens around the age of Saturn's maturity from 32 to 36 years of age. Some people also say it happens when the first lord of the D1 has reached its maturity. And what I've found to be most accurate is going to be the first lord of the D1. So on the screen here, you can see a list of ages of when certain planets will mature. So you want to see what is the lord of your first house and when is the age of maturity according to that planet. At this time, there will be a change in your fortune that can be seen depending upon the quality of the D9 Navamsa chart. So how do you use the D9 Navamsa chart? Many people who come onto my videos ask if they can see certain placements in their D9 Navamsa. And you can, because again, it is the maturity, it's the fruit that has ripened in the D9 chart. So many people will resonate with their D9 Navamsa when looking at certain natal positions as well. But always when we look at a horoscope, we always want to look at the D9 and D1 together to get an accurate interpretation. You can also look at the D9 Navamsa for transit horoscopes as well. So this is another thing that you can look at on my videos when I do transits, because you can see again that the fruits have ripened in the D9 chart. You also want to look at the D9 Navamsa when you interpret a Dasha period as well, because again, you have to verify the results of the planets in the D9 chart. This also, though, is going to show your life after marriage, because once again, that is the gain of this 9th house, of this fortune that is coming into your life. So there are two main ways of viewing the D9 Navamsa chart. The first way, which you can see on the screen here, is to look at it as a regular birth chart, but in the context of marriage. So the first house would be you in the marriage, and so on. But the most important way really to read the D9 chart is to think of it in terms of the 9th house of the chart, which would make the first house your dharma or your higher path in life. The second house would relate more to your career, the third house towards your gains in life, the fourth house towards your expenditure, which also can represent your private life within your marriage as well, because it's like the bedroom of the chart. The first house then of the D9 would represent you, everything that has to do with your personality, your physical appearance, the way that you present yourself can also be seen from the fifth house of this D9 Navamsa. The sixth house then would represent how you deal with all of your material assets, how you manage wealth and security. The seventh house would be the spouse, but it would be the desire of the spouse coming to you because it is seventh from the original ninth house of the chart. The eighth house would represent the home environment, what is shared within a marriage. The ninth house would be the fortune coming through the marriage, which would be children. And the children part especially has to be seen in a female chart. So it's not enough to just look at it from a male's chart in this situation. And of course, you always want to look at the D7 to also look into children as well. The 10th house of the chart represents how you deal with all of the conflicts and daily responsibilities within your life. The 11th house represents the gain of the spouse. So just like 7th house represents spouse, so does the 11th house, but as a gain, as something that is coming into your life to bring fulfillment, is seen from this 11th house. The 12th house is the house of death, meaning it is all about endings. It is all about the end of this journey of the soul. So, two techniques that are used typically with the D9 Navamsa is one, to see the D1 ninth lord. So, looking at your natal chart, what is the planet that rules your ninth house? And then look at that in your D9 Navamsa chart. That is going to show you the strength of those positive karmas coming into your life. So how well will you receive those fruits, that fortune coming into your life during a certain dasha period of that planetary lord can be seen with this position. Another way to look at this is to look at the first lord. So the planet that rules over the first house of the D9 Navamsa chart. Look at that in the D1 Rashi chart, in the natal chart, and see where that has gone. The house that is second from that will show where your focus in life will go, what you become very focused towards in this lifetime. So, for example, as you can see on the screen here, looking at the first lord, if it were to be positioned in the 11th house of the D1 Rashi chart, then the focus would be towards the 12th house, towards foreign lands, spirituality. Another technique that is seen in the D9 Navamsa is to look at certain talents that we can have that are seen through the planets. And this is especially true for planets that are in Trikona houses, meaning the first, fifth, and ninth house of the D9 Navamsa. See what planets are placed in those houses. If the sun is placed there, then this is definitely going to give you a huge sense of confidence and individuality. You become very sure of yourself. And you can be very skilled at putting yourself on display with this as well, putting your talents, putting your skills before the public. This also can make you very creative also, especially in terms of music and dance. If the moon is in one of these Trikona houses, then it's going to translate to the way that you speak, the way that you use your voice. So this can give you a very special speaking voice that is very magnetic, that's very appealing, that can attract a lot of attention to you. And this can also come out in terms of musical ability as well. You may have an excellent singing voice with the moon in one of these Trikona houses. But ultimately, this can make you a great lecturer, a great speaker, someone who's able to present information to the public and to touch the hearts of others. If Mercury is in one of these Trikona houses, then again, it's going to give you great speaking abilities. This makes you an excellent communicator. You're able to present your information clearly to other people. This could even make you skilled in writing as well. But ultimately, this makes you a great business person because you're able to use your skills and communication to get your point across. If Venus is in one of these Trikona houses of the D9 chart, this is going to make you a very creative person. You have great visual skills. You see everything in a visual way. So this can make you very talented in the arts, with fashion, media, design, with this position. If Mars is placed in one of the Trachone houses, then you have a lot of aggression and passion within you. You are a natural fighter. You never let anything stop you. You always are getting up after being knocked down. You are fighting for everything in your life, and nothing can stop you. You also could be about fighting for a righteous cause, standing up for the rights of others. If Jupiter is placed in one of the Trachone houses, then you have a lot of deep wisdom and spiritual knowledge. And this knowledge helps you through the difficulties of life. So there is a luck factor that comes with this. If Saturn is placed in one of the Trachone houses, then there is a serious attitude about you. You take life very seriously, and you want to follow the principles. You want to do everything in the traditional way. So you are all about taking the right actions in life. If Rahu or Ketu are placed in these Trachone houses, then this is going to make you very skilled with technology. Specifically for Rahu, it can make you skilled with machines. And for Ketu, it is more so about computers and digital technology. Both of them also can make you very skilled in spirituality and mysticism, especially in areas of astrology. Rahu, though, can make you think in very unique and eccentric ways. You can become a trendsetter, thinking outside of the box, understanding all sorts of mysteries and deeper information. This can make you a skilled researcher, detective with this placement. K2 is definitely going to make you very spiritual, though, where you become all about spirituality and you have huge intuition that you have to listen to because it will guide you through all of your experiences in life. So another concept of the D9 Navamsa chart, once again, is to see relationships. And the easiest way to do this is to look at it in terms of the seventh house being the first marriage, the first committed partnership in your life. And then looking at the eighth house from the seventh house, which would be the second house, that shows the ending, the transformation, because eighth house is all about transformation and sudden changes. So the second house becomes the end of that first committed partnership and the beginning of a new committed partnership. You can do the same thing with the second house. You can take the eighth house away, which is the ninth house, which becomes the death of that second partnership and the beginning of a new partnership. This is an easy way to look at marriage situations in the chart. And obviously, you want to see the quality of these houses and of the planets that rule these houses, the same as we would in a natal chart, to get the overall quality of what those partnerships will be like. I have two examples here. In the first example, we have an Aries ascendant in the Navamsa with Venus placed in the seventh house. So Venus is in its own sign, its office sign, its strongest position of Libra. And we also have Jupiter in Aries. So Jupiter is giving a benefic aspect to Venus, and Venus is placed strongly within its own sign. This is going to give excellent results in the partnership. In the second example, we have Saturn, Mars, and Rahu, which are placed in the sign of Cancer, in the opposite house to the ascendant of the D9, which is Capricorn. So we know that Mars is debilitated in Cancer and that the ruler, Saturn, has gone to the opposite house. Rahu is also here, and we have the moon, which is the dispositor or ruling planet of this seventh house, which has gone into debilitation in Scorpio as well. So this is definitely going to create some obstacles in partnership. Another concept that is often talked about in some of the text is that the seventh house of the D9 Navamsa can show the actual complexion of a person's appearance. I don't use this one though, because this is definitely going to factor into race and ethnicity. This will definitely show different changes and results to this. So this is not necessarily something to focus on heavily, but if you want to look into this, this is another component of the D9 Navamsa. So I hope you all enjoyed this. If you like this, make sure to leave a like. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I will see you all in the next video.